What is going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Totally Unqualified podcast, the podcast by the Unqualified for the Unqualified. I am Luke, or Football Fan Zone. Of course, joined with me today by my two lovely co-hosts, Jake Maltese, Gage Hall. How are we doing today, fellas?
I'm doing great. It had an interesting day, but I'm ready to kind of just, clear my mind, just get this dub in Guess That Player really quick and just get into talking some ball.
Yeah, I'm having a pretty good day too. Can't really complain. Work was hella busy. I cleaned 87 rooms today. But aside from that, doing well. I've been chilling ever since then, and I'm ready to talk some ball.
Yeah, I've spent my day doing some homework, watching a press conference that I wish I did not watch before. So it's been pretty decent. We have a great show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the World Series. The Atlanta sports curse is over, apparently, boys. So that'll be fun, as well as the past Thursday night game between the Colts and the Jets. Also going to be talking about Odell Beckham Jr. He's finally on the waiver wire. The Browns finally released him, gave him his wish. And then, of course, going to be giving our predictions on week 9. Now, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or YouTube, make sure to leave us a rating and review. Make sure to comment, like, share, subscribe, post notifications, everything, the whole 9. We would really appreciate it. It helps us out a ton. Now, as always, it's time for that Guess That Player. Are you boys ready?
As ready as I'm going to get. It's basically just you guys going back and forth getting points at this point.
Gage, it's been a couple of weeks, man. It's been a couple of weeks.
I know.
You went on that little run. You went on that little back-to-back run there.
I mean,
I get back at it.
Listen, you're gonna be back in contention. We're redoing this, right? Like we're resetting at the end of the year. I believe we discussed. I think we have to. Yeah.
December 31st. Rankings get 0-0-0 across the board.
We're gonna need to get like a trophy or something.
Oh yeah. We're gonna have to talk about like the prize and then whatever Gage gets for being in last place. Not that it's a definite that you're gonna be in last place, Gage, but at this point,
hey, maybe for December we could have like every Guess That Player is worth like 5 points or something like that.
That's true.
Maybe
we do like an ultimate round. Then we got to make it like
for me, or you guys could pull out way ahead.
Yeah. Hey, either or. High stakes.
True.
All right. My player, he's in the NFL, of course.
Okay.
Drafted in the 4th round of the 2008 draft. 18 draft, sorry. 2018 draft.
That makes it way easier.
I actually was going to do a player that was drafted in the 2008 draft, but I didn't decide to go with him. Drafted by the Colts. I'm not going to say his college just yet because I have a feeling that Jake.
Michael Pittman Jr.
Nope. I have a feeling that Jake would get it right off the bat. So I will say
Paris Campbell.
No. Skill position. He's posted at least 500 total yards every year that he's played.
Nyheim Hines.
Jake.
Oh,
Jake just got it. Jake just got it.
Let's go.
As the total yards when I said emphasis on total.
Woo! 1 second, Gage. You were 1 split second.
Yeah. I only had a couple other ones. Yeah, 1,084 rushing yards, 1,400 receiving yards. And he went to North Carolina State.
Really? I don't know if you would know that. I wouldn't have given it away for me. I didn't know he went to NC State.
Yeah. Neither did I until just
now.
I
actually just looked that up like last week, I want to say, because I was actually curious what college you went to.
Hey, the more you know.
I know.
The more you know. All right. Well, what's the standings now?
14 to 12 to 3.
14, 12, 3?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I need to get back on my game.
And of course, Adam Rank has won.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, guys. The World Series ended a few days ago. The Atlanta Braves are your champions over those dumbass cheaters, the Houston Astros.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. I love baseball. So, Gage, why don't you start us off? How do you feel about this series?
I mean, as a Saints fan, I don't typically like to see Atlanta win anything, but for the Braves, I feel like this was definitely needed. And you like to see it out of an underdog team like the Braves because they had so few wins going into the playoffs with 88. but I saw this thing from WTF Facts earlier, where I get a lot of the fun facts that I present to you guys anyway. And it was pretty crazy because obviously Hank Aaron passed away earlier this year, and he was number 44. And before the All-Star break, the Braves won 44 games. After the All-Star break, the Braves won 44 games. And then I think it was like 44 total home runs hit in the World Series or something too. So just crazy how that worked out. But I love to see it for them. They definitely deserve it. And I especially love to see it over the Astros.
Yeah. The Astros, I mean, America, let's be honest, America won with the Braves winning. Everybody was rooting for. I remember seeing a graphic on Instagram of like the entire United States and who they're rooting for in the World Series. It was just like Texas was orange. Everywhere else was blue for Atlanta. And then Delaware was orange also. So this message is, fuck Delaware. What the fuck? The fuck is up with Delawareans that they're like, let's just vote for cheaters because we don't have a sports team of our own. So we want to stick it to America.
They're barely even a state.
Barely.
I
think they were actually I think they were the first state, if we're going to be honest. So they were pretty notable. But anyway, enough about Delaware. Why doesn't Delaware have a single sports? Okay, I'm getting way off topic. We got to stay on topic here, people. You got to keep me on. Anyway, the person that I kept thinking about, I think this is going to be a very Carson Wentz-esque situation here, is Ronald Acuna. Okay, because I think we can all agree. I mean, Luke, you could just not smile and nod because you watch a ton of baseball.
I agree.
That the Braves are probably not going to win another World Series for a while. Like they might. Freddie Freeman's getting up there in age. Usually with baseball, like you got a bunch of players to pay. The Braves are not in a tough division. They're in the weakest division in all baseball, so that helps them. But like if they don't, Ronald Acuna is going to have the World Series on his record. But is it really going to count? Is it really going to count? It's kind of the Carson Wentz situation. Yeah. Where like he missed so much of the season. They basically did it without him. Like
they I don't know for him, so to speak.
Yeah, for him. Yeah. So like, yes, he has the World Series champion in front of his name, the same way that Carson Wentz has the Super Bowl champion in front of his name. Like, yeah, he helped. Did he really help get you there? Because they won the division by like 10 games. But
yeah.
I don't know.
Not great division. That's like whenever we talked about the Mets earlier in the season, like same division, not great. But exactly. I mean, hey, they did it.
Yeah. But good for the Braves. That's my point. Ronald Acuna is an insane player. Guy's probably going to win MVP at some point in his career. So who cares about the World Series? But yeah, great for Atlanta. They hadn't won one since 95. Just this city had been through so much adversity. I mean, just starting out. You got the fact that their team had barely been to the playoffs a lot in their history. Just think about their teams that they have between the Hawks, the Falcons, and the Braves. And then they had the Thrashers get introduced, the hockey team get introduced to Atlanta. And then in 11 years of being in Atlanta, they were just like, all right, it's not working out here. And they shipped up to Winnipeg. So they had a hockey team. In the span of the last time they won a World Series, they had a hockey team introduced. Not that long ago. It was like 2000, 2001. They had this hockey team introduced into the NHL, sorry. And then by 2010, 2011, they're like, yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. And they went up to Winnipeg. You got Winnipeg beating you out for sports teams. Just think about that. Atlanta.
Yeah, not a good look. Not a good look.
Not a good look at all. Okay. I know Canada.
I like how they won the World Series and we're still finding a way to shit on the city of Atlanta.
Oh, absolutely. You have to. But I am happy for them. I was rooting for them. Don't tell my girlfriend that because she's a big Phillies fan. She hates them. But great for the city of Atlanta. They needed this, especially after, the Falcons just completely blew it a couple of years ago. Not that long ago, honestly, not that long ago. So no, this kind of gets that bitter taste out of their mouth. It's great. It's always great to see a city that's starting for a championship finally get one.
Yeah. I mean, you can think of countless teams. I mean, the Falcons pretty much every year, the Hawks last year. There's probably some that I'm forgetting in that span there, but Atlanta is a city that definitely deserves a championship. I think we could all say, especially after that Falcons loss to the Patriots. Yeah, I loved this series, guys. Baseball, home runs, pitches, outs, strikes. It was some awesome stuff.
All of those things did happen. Luke.
Those
Good
did
job.
happen, guys. I no. I did see Jorge Soler's home run, just knocked it out of.
Oh my God.
It was probably the furthest home run I've ever seen.
It's a fucking specimen.
To
crushed.
And that was like, that's series ending too. Like that's just that's the stamp on the ticket. Like
it's immortalized.
That's how you. That's That's how you ice it off. I wonder who has that ball. I saw the ball on social media, and I saw that the mark that the bat left on it. It was like all brown and like dented and stuff. That's got to be worth probably not as much as Tom Brady's 600th touchdown ball, but it's got to be worth quite the pretty penny.
I was listening to the Pat McAfee show from yesterday, and they talked to Dansby Swanson, the shortstop for the Braves, and he was talking about that home run. And he was like, oh, you guys thought that was far? You should see him in batting practice, because that was fucking nothing. And to think about him just crushing it in batting practice like that over and over again, it's crazy.
That's insane. I mean, I get to watch Giancarlo Stanton as a Yankee fan, and he just, tears the leather off of balls on a weekly basis. But like, so just to listen, I know people say baseball is boring, but there is nothing there. It's up there for one of the most exciting things in sports when it's a no doubter. When you don't even have to know a single thing about baseball. When you hear that ball get hit, your head goes to the TV if you weren't looking at it, and you're like, oh shit, that's gone. Because everybody knows that sound. It's universal, and it is a beautiful sound, and it's like one of the most hype things in all of sports.
It's like popping bubble wrap almost.
Oh yeah.
It's so satisfying. Yeah. So, the MVP of the World Series is heading to free agency. Fun fact, look that one up. Where do you guys think he's going to go? You think he's going to stick around? Y'all think he's going to move?
I don't know.
It's tough. I can never tell with baseball. Free agency, literally anything can fucking happen. I mean, Bryce Harper left the Nationals for, I think it was a $5 million difference. Which
the Nationals won the World Series.
Yeah, and the Nationals won the World Series. But he left, Washington for $5 million, and people were like, "Shit, that's a lot of money." Yeah, when it's a $300 million contract, $5 million it's not a lot. Yeah, usually a lot of players would take that little hometown discount to stay with their team. Bryce was like, "Nah, fuck this city. I'm going to Philadelphia," who looks like they're probably not going to win one in a while. So good job, Bryce.
Tough. I've never seen like a superstar fall from grace as like hard and quickly as Bryce Harper has the past couple of years.
He had a good year this year. I think
this year he did play well.
Yeah. But he did. No, Luke, to your point, he did flop like completely in his first couple of years in Philadelphia. Yeah. He wasn't even nominated for the All-Star game in his first year. That's embarrassing. This guy was in MVP conversations constantly, and then just leaves the Nationals. They go and win a World Series. He's not even an All-Star nominee. Like he batted like 240 that year, like so funny. But yeah, he had a bounce back year, much to my dismay.
Great hair though.
Oh, great hair.
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
The fuck? What is going on here? Holy shit. Bro, I swear to God.
Go ahead and
Bryce Harper's outside fucking with my
you got to stop talking that
power
shit.
Box. What's going on here?
Come on, he's lighting you up from the outside. Home run after home run. Come on.
How's that for a fucking dinger?
All right, I'm an idiot. My plug was loose in the outlet. That's
there you go.
God damn it, Bryce.
Yeah, Bryce, fuck you. Fuck you, Bryce Harper. What the fuck you doing to my wall? To my wall outlet. Luke's grandpa is going to hate this episode. I dropped what's the over-under on F-bombs I dropped already? Is it like 12 and a half?
Already?
12 and a half over.
I'd go a little bit under. I'd probably go like 9 and a half.
9? Okay.
Okay. I'm fine until we start, he's just chilling until we start recording the podcast, and then my fucking dog wants to play.
Oh, now we got shit hitting the fan.
Oh my gosh.
It's all going south.
Yeah.
Oh man. If my fire alarm goes off, that would be like the perfect trifecta of just fuck shit.
Oh yeah.
Happen.
Luke grabs Luke, what are you recording on your laptop?
Yeah.
You just bring it outside.
I'll bring it.
He's got his microphone and everything. Everybody's like, what the fuck is this guy up to?
What is this? Yeah.
He's probably the guy that set the fire alarm off and all that shit he's got plugged in.
Yeah.
So this should be edited out, but I feel like we should definitely keep
we're keeping that in. We're keeping that
We're going to keep it in.
We are absolutely keeping that in.
What were we talking about? Bryce Harper has great hair. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So on on that note, guys, let me tell you about an app that is near and dear to our hearts, and that is the Overtime app. It is sports meets social media, polls, games every single week. They just updated it last week, and you know what? They're coming out with some even bigger and better updates in the coming weeks. If you like fantasy, you better look out because they got something coming your way.
Oh,
go make sure to go download the Overtime app using our link. It helps us out a ton. Guys, it's an awesome thing.
Yeah. Also, I want to say, you might want to download the app now, especially because we can't disclose what's happening, but let's just say huge things going on in the future here. Big stuff for us. Look out.
All right, let's move on to the previous, the other night's Thursday night football game between the Colts and the Jets. The Colts win 45-30. Scorigami, boys. Scorigami.
Yeah. Never
been done. I love seeing those tweets, the Scorigami tweets.
Yeah.
There's something that just like brightens my whole day, my whole mood. Seeing the word Scorigami, nothing beats it. Jake, what do you got from this game?
Yeah, the Jets suck, man. It's really something. I feel like I just like all of my rants are just on how bad teams are. I never just come on and just praise a team constantly. But honestly, like the Jets, this is impressive. Like this is becoming impressive how bad they've been for so long. They might as well just keep being bad because I don't think Jets fans are going to know what to do with themselves if they actually start being good. But yeah, I mean, Mike White, who is the next Tom Brady as declared by Jets fans, goes down early in the first quarter. Josh Johnson comes in, XFL quarterback for the LA Wildcats. Don't ask me how I remember that. But Josh Johnson comes in, who's played on literally every NFL team that's ever existed. Even those NFL teams that disbanded in like the early 60s, Josh Johnson was on that team.
He founded them.
He founded them basically. Mm-hmm. Like go on his Wikipedia page. I swear you have to scroll down to see all the teams. Like that's how many teams this man has been on.
Wait, fun fact. Before I was going to do Naheem Hines, I looked up all the stats for Josh Johnson because I was going to do him. And I was like, yeah, there's not enough here to talk about.
As soon as you would have said University of San Diego, I would have known.
Yeah, I'm not saying the college is till the end now. I've learned my lesson with Brock Lesnar. That was bullshit.
You could have said John Harbaugh, because John Harbaugh is connected to Josh Johnson. He was his college coach, and I would still know. I feel like that's a big fact for him too.
Wow. Look at
that. I know everything. That's what you guys just have to basically. I'm kidding. I don't know shit. But yeah, as it comes to, I mean, the Colts played out of their minds in this game, kind of as we expected. I think we could pretty much give it up. Luke, you picked Jonathan Taylor to be
absolutely.
All right, I think we got to give him that point.
Absolutely,
right,
yeah. I did.
Yeah, I don't know. You picked Quentin Nelson.
I did.
Taylor had a good game.
You know what? That's a great point. Hold
on.
Especially
let me look up the Jets defensive stats.
Especially if Quentin Nelson was the one that would have caught that touchdown. I like when I saw a big man in the end zone, I was like,
oh yeah.
I was like, holy shit. Is this like the pick of the century for game? Because then it would have been like solidified that he was the player of the game for a lineman. But no, you can't go wrong picking Quentin Nelson.
Only gave up one sack.
The Jets
I don't know. I personally I'd pick Jonathan Taylor, but
I think it's Jonathan Taylor.
I think you got to go Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, definitely Jonathan Taylor. Who I was playing against in fantasy this week while I had my starters. Did not appreciate that. Fuck you, Jonathan Taylor, as we're on this, just fuck athletes trade.
I'm not on that. Don't attach me to that.
In the slight chance that Jonathan Taylor is listening to this, Luke wants you to know, JT, that you're always in his heart.
JT, I have that New Jersey blood. I got that Bergen County blood in me. You and I go way back. Wisconsin too, everywhere. It's my God.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this was kind of just a free for all for the Colts in this game. Jets made a little bit of a run at the end, but it was a good game for the Colts. Like I don't know what to say. The Jets are just really, really bad.
Yeah. I mean, the Jets run defense is fucking atrocious. I mean, just horrible. Absolutely awful. Like Jonathan Taylor's a great running back. Obviously, the Colts have a great O-line as well, but they just can't, like, they can tackle about 15 yards after they get past the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? Like they just could not make any stops in the run game, which is why Jonathan Taylor had a $170 and 2 touchdowns. And Nyheim Hines had, I think, I can't remember how many yards, but he was doing pretty well himself when he was in there. So like, I don't know. The Jets are just going to continue to struggle. It doesn't matter who's going to be in at quarterback. The defense isn't good. They've got a few good pieces, but they're just not going to be able to get much done at all this season. And that's not a surprise to anybody. As far as the Colts go, they looked really good. Carson Wentz was throwing the ball well. He looked a lot better in this game than he did against the Titans, obviously. Michael Pittman continues to do what he's been doing, especially with T.Y. Hilton out. He needed to step up, and that's exactly what he did. And the Colts just did whatever they wanted in this one. The Scorigami feels a little bit weird. Because like 45-30.
Yeah,
like
I feel like that would be common.
Happened before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know, whatever.
I got to talk about Zach Wilson for a sec. I know he had nothing to do with this game. He's hurt. But he deceived the shit out of me. I said I didn't love what I saw out of him coming out of college. I was like, I think he has bust written all over him. Saw him in the preseason. I flipped the switch. I was like, no, I like this guy. Has some Aaron Rodgers-esque in it. That is football talk, Aaron Rodgers in him. And he's just completely deceived me. He was maybe it's because, you know, the burners really come on in the regular season, not the preseason. But he and Mike White have the same amount of touchdowns this season. And that's pretty telling considering Mike White has played all of 5 quarters pretty much.
Whoa. Zach Wilson hasn't thrown an interception in like 3 games. Okay.
I'll give him that. He's looking great from his couch in his house. So, yeah. I don't think we were expecting much out of the Jets in this game or really even this season. I will say, I think they have some bright spots on the team. Marcus May probably not going to be there long-term, especially after he just tore his Achilles. He's going to be out for the rest of the season. And they had some animosity between him and management anyways. Michael Carter looks good. He didn't look great in this game, but I do think that they have their future running back there. And you know what? They're putting pieces on the offensive line for him to succeed. Elijah Moore is looking outstanding in the slot, like way better than Denzel Mims, than even Jamison Crowder really this season. I think they have some pieces there. I will say defensively, they're a little bit more of a mess, which doesn't make sense because, you know, Jonathan Taylor and this Colts team ran all over them, and the front seven is supposed to be the strong point of this Jets team. It's always has been. They've always been built of having an elite front seven. Quinnen Williams, John Franklin Myers, like they should be able to stop them, and they weren't. You know why they weren't able to stop them? Because Jonathan Taylor with Derrick Henry down, with Christian McCaffrey down, he is the best running back in the league. I don't know what I always had a gripe in the 2020 draft, why teams were just not selecting Jonathan Taylor, because he couldn't catch out of the backfield. That was the gripe teams had against him. This guy is a fucking track star. He will run past every single person on the field. He has a track record. He ran track at Wisconsin, ran track in high school. Like he was just a natural born athlete, great person too. I love Jonathan Taylor so much. I got about him forever. I don't know what the gripe was. You know why? Because right now he has 293 receiving yards through the air on 23 catches, 6 yards away from last year's total where he had 299. He's on pace to break last year's his rushing records, I should say. He has 821 right now. He had just over 1,100 last season. He's probably most likely going to lead the league in rushing this season with Derrick Henry out. And there's a big margin between him and Derrick Henry. Let me just say that. Yeah. I think with the Derrick Henry injury, the door is open for the Colts to come back in this division. I think they're this team is who I thought it would be coming into the season. Didn't look that way the first couple weeks, but now Carson Wentz is starting to find a groove. Michael Pittman Jr. has 5 touchdowns in his last 5 games. This team is just gelling together at the right time. And I got to take a look at their schedule, but I'm sure that they have some easy wins coming up against the Jags, against the Texans. Like this team could make a playoff push, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to say real quick, I'm going to toot my own horn. I said before the season started that Jonathan Taylor would have a more productive season than Derrick Henry. And before anybody is like, well, okay, how could we predict Derrick Henry getting hurt? No. part of the reason that I made that take is because I was like, Derrick Henry is not going to be able to take all of these carries forever. Part of the reason that I made the take was thinking that Derrick Henry might get hurt. And here we are. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to toot my own horn on this one.
Is it okay? But was his injury because of, all those carries, or was it because it was a freak accident?
I don't know.
Listen, it was a freak accident, but the reason this it very well could happen, knock on wood, I hope it doesn't, but like it's most likely not going to happen to Jonathan Taylor is because they have a 3-headed monster backfield between him, Nyheim Hines. Marlon Mack doesn't even get touches. That's how good this backfield is. Marlon Mack he should have been traded at the trade deadline, and they were like, nah, fuck it. We'll keep him. We'll let him warm the bench a little bit.
Yeah, everybody should have been traded at the trade deadline. No trades happened. Everybody that was supposed to be traded at the trade deadline did not get traded at the trade deadline. Yeah. Our team's just okay with letting people go now. Odell, just take less. If just get something. Get a 6th round pick. Get something besides let them walk out the door. It's just stupid.
Nah, but why would you do that when you could cut him and then get compensatory picks? Come on. I don't even think it works like that. I think he has to I don't think it works like that. All right, whatever. Next topic, guys. We have Odell Beckham Jr. Getting released by the Browns. We got him released by the Browns. All the athletes on Twitter, LeBron, you had Trayvon Diggs, you had John Morant, everybody saying free OBJ. And he's finally free. Now, Jake, I'm gonna start with you. All right. One, why don't you think he worked out with the Browns? And 2, what team would you like to see him on, and what team do you think he'll get to or get signed by?
Yeah. So I don't have an answer for you really of why it didn't work out with the Browns. It seemed like just a match made in heaven when he went to the Browns. He had Jarvis there. He was going to be probably in the best mental state he had been because he's got who he considers his brother on the team. So you just thought he was going to thrive under those circumstances. And he was probably, I would, argue worse than the Giants, in terms of how he mentally was there. Yeah. The connection with Baker just never materialized. It really never did. I don't know if they just didn't work on it. As the Knicks poll within 4, by the way, big comeback. I don't know if they just didn't work on it or if they were. I feel like they did. I feel like they were working out to. I don't know. It's just one of the things that not everything's going to be a match made in heaven. So it's unfortunate. It really, really. I did not see this much of a deterioration happening at the end there. Where it just feels like everything fell to shit. And he was, being told to stay home from practice by Kevin Stefanski. He was being told to stay away from the team. I don't know what happened in that locker room. As far as I know, no information has kind of been released about that. We just got, what Kevin Stefanski told us. But it just didn't work out the way we hoped, which sucks because that's 3 years of who we thought, was a Hall of Fame potential superstar that we're not going to get back. As far as where I'd like to see him go, what were the 2 questions? Where I'd like to see him go and where
you think he's going to go?
Okay. Where I'd like to see him go is not in the NFC West. I don't want to play him. That's for sure. With our just trash bags of corners. Sorry, DJ Reed and Trey Brown. I love you guys. But yeah. So I think the best place for him would probably be Oakland. And it just seems like such a great fit. Derek Carr, I feel like would absolutely love to have him. He fills in for that Henry Ruggs, which we know Henry Ruggs isn't going to be there anymore. Fills in that Henry Ruggs role that he's a better player than Henry Ruggs is. Still is that speedster too. Gives him an opportunity to be a true number 1 on team instead of kind of being like a sub number 1 with another receiver, which I don't think is good for him. I think it's good if he's just the true number 1, like we saw in New York. So I think that would be the perfect situation for him. Where I think he'll go is Gage's going to like this one. I think he'll go to New Orleans. It's where he grew up. It's where he's from. He went to LSU. Excuse me. So he's basically going home in a sense, and they need him. They need him right now. So they need a receiver like that. The only reason I don't want him to go there, it's not the most ideal situation, is because when Michael Thomas comes back, that's their number 1 receiver. You're going to have that. Listen, Odell's got a little bit of an ego. So I feel like he needs to have that security of being your true number one and needs to be treated like that. So I don't know how that's going to go when Michael Thomas does come back. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe he'll be totally okay with it. He's accepted the role as, just a co number one with another receiver. Maybe he does, but I see the best situation for him in Las Vegas. But I could definitely see him going home to Louisiana.
I think as far as like him being concerned with Michael Thomas being the number one receiver, I feel like the desire to come home and especially to play in Sean Payton's offense, because I know that he's high on Sean Payton. He's talked about it multiple times in the past about how great of a coach he is and stuff like that, would outweigh, that desire to be the number one guy. And I feel like if that was really what he was searching for when he ended up, he was traded or whatever, when he went to the Browns, I feel like he would have wanted out of that situation sooner with guys like Jarvis Landry and with Baker not going his way for as long as he has. As far as where I would like to see him go, come on, we know where I'd like to see him go. As far as where I think that he'll end up, with him turning part of his contract, or with the Browns turning part of his contract into a signing bonus and it not quite being as much, I feel like there is the potential that somebody could claim him off waivers.
Yeah.
And the Patriots are higher than both we and the Raiders on as far as the waiver wire right now. So they could potentially take him, but I do honestly think that he's still going to end up clearing waivers. And if that's the case, then I think that we have a pretty solid case. I think that the Raiders have a pretty solid case. And I think that there's no way that he doesn't sign with one of those two teams. I think that the Raiders are definitely appealing to him because of Derek Carr. Derek Carr is a great quarterback. He's going to get him the ball. They could really use a guy like him right now. We could really use a guy like him right now. So I think what it's going to come down to is just where Odell wants to go. And I'm hoping that he wants to come home.
I think there's 4 main reasons that you could look at as to why Odell and the Cleveland Browns didn't work out. The first being, injuries, of course. If he doesn't, tear his ACL, who knows what the player he'd be now is. I think the second reason is Baker Mayfield has just not been playing well since his 2019 season. I think the decline of Baker Mayfield directly, obviously, affects Odell Beckham. Odell has, of course, suffered injuries in that time, but Baker Mayfield just hasn't not looked like the same quarterback, even since his rookie year. So I think those are 2 big reasons. I think the third reason is not so much the fact that they're a run-oriented team. I think it's the emergence of Kareem Hunt. Now, Kareem Hunt was on that team. Odell Beckham had his last 1,000-yard season was 2019. Kareem Hunt was obviously suspended for half that season. They never really got him involved in that offense, not as involved as he is now, where offense is predicated on Nick Chubb and him, the two-headed monster. I think some of his carries obviously took away from Nick Chubb, but I think because of this, how much success that they've had with him, and not just Nick Chubb with Kareem Hunt involved, that takes away obviously from the passing game. So I think Kareem Hunt had a lot to do with it, because even when Nick Chubb was balling out in 2019, he had 298 rushes and he rushed for 1,500 yards. Odell was still productive in that season, right? I think the fourth reason is Odell needs to be in a big market. Odell is a star, and he was too big for the Cleveland Browns. I think his sort of off the field antics have definitely been suppressed since moving to Cleveland, since he wasn't in the Big Apple anymore. The media is not always going to be on him. He kind of grew into himself, and he grew up, for lack of a better term. He's not punching walls in Lambeau Field. He's not kicking over, kicking nets anymore. All that stuff stopped with his move to Cleveland, but I don't think that was necessarily great for his career. Obviously it wasn't. Now, I don't want to rule out any of these teams that are high on the waiver wire, because I feel like just because he is in a bad situation with not a bad quarterback, because I don't think Baker Mayfield's a bad quarterback, but with just maybe not as effective of an offense. I think a lot of people are clearing these teams' names and thinking that he's automatically going to get picked up by a contender. And I don't think that's the case here. In fact, I actually think a spot for him, I would love to see him in Vegas, by the way. I think Vegas is a perfect fit, especially now that they're in definite need of a wide receiver now with what's transpired the past week. They definitely need somebody else aside Josh Jacobs and Darren Waller. I think Miami is a good market for Odell. I think Odell would be willing to go there and sort of help out Tua Tagovailoa and help him get more, used to the NFL offense. I think him and Jalen Waddle would be ridiculous. They just put Devontae Parker on the IR. He's going to be done for the season. So they're in need of a wide receiver too. I think this offense can be really dynamic. I think he could help out Tua a lot in his development. And although it's not a contending team, that's not really Odell's choice here. He got released. He didn't want to be part of the team anymore. And you know what? I think Miami would be a decent option for him.
I actually kind of like that. I feel like him and Deshaun Watson would have a really good connection there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Did I say Deshaun Watson? Yeah, I meant Deshaun Watson. Yeah. No. Yeah, I feel like that would be a great market for him. I ultimately feel like, I don't know. I really do feel like it's between Vegas and New Orleans at this point. New England would be the wild card, I would definitely say. But yeah, I agree with all those points, especially with Devontae Parker, like you said, being on IR now.
Yeah. I think the thing with New England, though, that kind of makes me feel a little bit better about them maybe not claiming him on the waiver wire, at least, is that they don't really have money either. Like they don't have the money to be tossing around. And I know that it's not going to be as much money now, but they still don't really have the money to go out and pay him anything going forward. I know we're not necessarily in the best situation to do that either, but I guess my pitch to Odell would be, we're like, even with Trevor Siemian, like obviously that's not as good of a situation. It wouldn't be like Derek Carr throwing you the ball, but you've got Sean Payton, who's a great offensive mind. And, we're still contending as far as this season goes. We still have a winning record. We're 5-2. And I think that we'll go forward and we'll be all right, especially with the defense. But looking at, and I texted you guys about this in the group chat earlier, going into like next year, having Jameis Winston at the helm, we get Michael Thomas back. We've got the two-headed monster in the backfield of Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. There's plenty there to have a solid offense and retain our defense going forward. So if I were to speak to Odell, I'd be like, look, this season might be a little bit of a toss-up, but next season we got you.
Yeah.
Listen, Odell, you're problematic enough. Let me introduce you to a team called the Green Bay Packers. It's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
I feel like Trevor Siemian kind of takes away from I guess New Orleans pitch at trying to get Odell. I think Jameis there with the defense that they have, they're contenders. I don't think they're necessarily contenders with Trevor Siemian. Maybe they are with Taysom Hill. I don't think they're going to use Taysom Hill in that way anymore. Which I think is stupid. If you're paying him quarterback money, you should use him as a fucking quarterback. But
well, if we had a fucking Odell, then maybe we could put him at quarterback and he could throw the ball. We wouldn't have to use him as a running back, tight end, wide receiver. How
dare you say those things about Marquez Callaway and Traquan Smith?
Okay,
they are stellar receivers.
Yeah, Marquez Callaway had that touchdown catch in the
preseason.
I'm done with Marquez Callaway. He was supposed to be wide receiver 1 caliber coming out of preseason and stuff, and he's done basically nothing. I'm over it.
I'm mad.
I feel like this year more than any should just tell people like this is why preseason doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like the only person that like looked good and has been good is like Mac Jones. Like that's it. That's the only person I could think of that looked good in preseason and is playing good
pretty much
during the season. Yeah,
pretty much. I mean, look at Jamar Chase, who was shit in the preseason. People thought he was a bust and breaking records.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some game picks.
Prior, so
yeah, get to some game picks, shall we? We got a bunch of games. Oh, I like how you. Okay, Gage. I like how you did it this time around.
Yeah, little betting odds up there. All right.
Should we start picking them based off these odds, or
I think we should. Maybe just a little.
Start picking the spreads.
Start picking the spreads. I'll do that.
Maybe let's try it this week. Let's do spreads this week.
Let's do it for this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So first up on the list, the New England Patriots, 3.5-point favorites at the Carolina Panthers. Gage, I'm gonna start with you. Who you got, or what spread are you taking?
I got to take the Patriots in this one. I definitely think that they can win by 4 or more points. I think they've got that in the bag. They've looked really good over the past couple of weeks. They are still in the hunt and on the cusp of being a playoff team right now. Mac Jones has looked very good. One of their biggest concerns, I think, is that JC Jackson has been out this week, I believe, with the flu. And he's definitely one of their biggest assets on the defensive side of the ball. The Panthers obviously have Stephon Gilmore now, so he's not with the Patriots anymore. But I definitely still think that the Patriots can pull it out, especially with how the Panthers have looked as of late. And I don't know if Sam Darnold's going to be playing. I don't know how serious his concussion ended up being. So we'll see.
Yeah. I'm actually going to take the Panthers in this game for no other reason other than the fact that Stephon Gilmore is back. I just feel like this is going to be like, it's perfect that they let him go. They traded him. And now in his first game back, it's his first game back, right? Or did he come back last week?
It's his first game.
He came
back.
He came back.
He did come back.
Week.
Yeah,
he did have he had a pick. He had a pick. Yep.
Okay.
Right.
So in his second game back, he's playing the team that traded him away. So yeah, I feel like he's going to go off in this game. I feel like he's kind of I don't want to say a chip on his shoulder because I think he wanted out, but just like he wants to show them like what he can do. He's going to show them up. So for no other reason other than I think Stephon Gilmore might have 2 picks in this game. Like, no, I'm not even kidding you. Now, if Bill knows what's good for him, he's going to avoid him at all costs, but you never know what can happen. So yeah, I'm definitely I'm going to take the Panthers in this one. I think it's just a kind of an even matchup too. Just if Sam Darnold can play just clean football, just like somewhat, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here. Just play some clean football. And with that defense, they definitely got a shot in this game. Like the Patriots are not, they've gone on a nice run here I think they're 500 now. I think they're 4-4.
Yes.
Yeah. To bring themselves back up to 500 and compete in the AFC East. But like, there's still nothing special here. They're nothing special yet, at least. So I think the Panthers can definitely win this game.
I think the Patriots are getting hot at a good time. I mean, destroyed the Jets 2 weeks ago and then beat the Chargers. I mean, the big bad Chargers that everybody's on their bandwagon now. I'm gonna go with the spread here. I'm gonna pick. Hold on, wait, where did the spread go? I'm gonna pick the Patriots to win this game, but I'm gonna take the Panthers on the spread.
I like that.
I think the Patriots are just too hot right now. I think it's going to cause some problems for Sam Darnold. I don't want to see him going up against any defense, let alone the New England Patriots defense. It's looking like Christian McCaffrey is on track to come back this week, though. And if not this week, it will be next week. So I think that's obviously a huge get for the Panthers. Maybe not rush him out this week. Maybe next week. Who knows? But if he comes back, then I definitely think the Panthers have a chance, not even to just cover, to just win the game in general. But I think 3.5, I think might be a little bit closer than that. Might be a field goal game. But I think the Patriots win, but I'm going to take the Panthers on the spread. Next, we got the world-beating Atlanta Falcons coming straight off of a loss to the fucking Carolina Panthers that we just talked about. They're 6.5-point underdogs at the New Orleans Saints. Jake, I'm going to start with you.
I don't know about this one. I mean, we don't even know. Trevor Siemian going up against Matt Ryan. Yes, that scares me. Like Matt Ryan, yes. Okay, he's not what he once was, but he's still very good. Mm-hmm. And he's very smart. He's a smart guy. And the Saints defense is really good, but I don't know if Trevor Siemian can. Trevor Siemian's good. Like, I don't want to bash Trevor Siemian here because he's as far as backups go, he's actually a pretty damn good backup to have. This one's tough, man. All right. It's in New Orleans. I'll take the Saints. I am not taking them to cover that spread though. I am taking the Falcons all the way in the spread.
It's kind of a big spread for us starting literally
really little too big. Little too big.
Yeah.
I might have to bet on that. Actually, I might need to take the Falcons in that one.
I gotta think about it here.
Yeah, take a second.
Because 6.5 is a lot.
Yeah.
You know what? I think we can win it by a touchdown. I will take us. Yep. Yep, I'm going to take us with the spread, and I think that we can win it. And I think that mostly on the back of our defense, because not just is our defense really good this year, but our defense has been absolutely stellar against the Falcons in general and against Matt Ryan for the past, I don't even know how many years at this point. I think the Saints put Matt Ryan on his back more than any defense puts any quarterback on their back on a yearly basis. Like we just constantly get in there. Their O-line really hasn't improved much. And I think that we're going to get in there and tear things up again. So I'm going to take us in this one.
This spread sucks. Straight up. I hate this. I'm definitely taking the Falcons on the spread here. I think the Saints will win, but the Falcons last 4 games lost to the Panthers by 6, beat the Dolphins by 2, beat the Jets by 7, lost to the Washington football team by 4. So they've been in some really close matchups. Also, division game. Also, Trevor Siemian is starting. I don't know how the Saints are getting 6.5 points. I'm sorry. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, I like the Falcons to cover, but I like the Saints to win. I don't know how we're doing that in the records, though. Are we just picking?
I think we need to have. Yeah, go ahead, Gabe. Go ahead.
I think I'll count them separately for the spreads.
Yeah,
I'll count our picks as far as the winners, and then I'll count our picks as far as the spreads too. And I'll just add them in.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. We got a close game here. Gage, I'm going to start with you. It is the Los Angeles Chargers coming off a loss to the Patriots. 1.5 point favorites at the Philadelphia Eagles. Who you got?
I feel like this one is too close, honestly. I know that we're not real high on the Chargers as far as the past couple weeks or their past couple losses. Mm-hmm. They lose to the Patriots, they lose to the Ravens in a big way, but I'm not taking this Eagles blowout of the Lions of all teams as any indication of what they're going to be going forward. And I think that the Eagles still don't really have their identity. I know they ran the ball a lot more last week. Why were you not doing that before Miles Sanders was hurt? I would love to know.
Thank you.
But I'm going to take the Chargers in this one to win it. And I'm going to take them for the spread as well. I think that they could easily cover that.
What does Vegas know that we don't? What is with these? And Vegas is usually pretty damn close with a lot of games. So I don't know what they know that we don't know, because Saints versus Falcons seem too big. This seems way too close. I'm looking at this as a blowout all the way. The Chargers are way better in every facet of their team. The Eagles just got kind of a weak kind of, flex against the Lions last week. And they're like, oh, look, we can put up 40 points on the worst defense in the league. Let's go. Yeah, no, nobody cares. Chargers defense is tougher. I feel like I would take the Chargers -7 in this game. I don't think this is going to be pretty. I think this is going to be kind of ugly. Jalen Hurts is going to put up, 2 touchdowns at the end of the game, like he always does, just to pad his fantasy stats and make it look like it was a closer game. But no, I can see Justin Herbert absolutely just torching the Eagles in this game.
I'm in the same boat. I think Chargers win this one straight up, flat out. It basically, with the 1.5 point spread, it's pretty much a pick 'em at that point. It's kind of just flip a coin. Who do you think is going to win? I do want to say, it's not that it annoys me, but I just find it so weird that bad quarterbacks are at the top of the fantasy stats this year. Mm-hmm. Jalen Hurts is outscoring Lamar Jackson, outscoring Patrick Mahomes. Daniel Jones is up there. It's so weird with the way the quarterback position has changed the past couple of years. I just find it weird. So yeah, I'm going to Chargers to cover. I'm going to Chargers to win. 100%. All right. We got to this game. We got the oh man. We got the Jordan Love led Green Bay Packers going up. We are just never going to get the State Farm Bowl. We are never going to get to see Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes. Absolutely never. We got the Packers at the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 7.5 point favorites. I think the spread moved 3 points, I want to say, because of Aaron Rodgers' injury, which is kind of wild. So I don't know who I started off with last. Gage, you want to go?
Not really, but I will, because I don't know what to make of this matchup whatsoever with Jordan Love. The Chiefs haven't been very good so far, obviously. Their defense looks absolutely atrocious. I kind of want to pick a Jordan Love masterclass. Jake did
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Derrick Rose just hit we just took the lead against the Bucks, and Derrick Rose just hit a big three to kind of put that lead up even more. So
yeah, you did the finger motion.
Mel
hasn't played for the Knicks in a while. Come on.
Oh yeah, Derrick Rose just pulled up like no hesitation on the transition at the 3-point line.
But
anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, football. I would love to see a Jordan Love masterclass just out of nowhere, him come out and look fantastic. But I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. I think it's going to be a little bit rough. I think that he'll look decent enough, especially against this defense and the way that they've been playing. One thing I will say that we didn't mention last week about the Melvin Ingram trade is that I feel like that opens the window for Chris Jones to move
back into his actual position.
Yeah, and I think that could be a little bit scary and could help them out a good bit. So I think that the Chiefs could win this one. I'm going to take the Packers against the spread, though, because I don't think that 7.5 is good. I think that they'll keep it still fairly close, even if it's just Aaron Jones on the ground.
Yeah, I completely agree with the Chris Jones take. I feel like anytime anybody has ever been moved out of position, it's never worked. Like, especially we saw this with Hassan Reddick, who's putting on a clinic in where is he now? He's in Carolina, right? Yeah.
Except Taysom Hill.
And except Taysom Hill.
I will say, just Clay Matthews moved to middle linebacker in the 2015 season and made the Pro Bowl, which I don't fucking know how he did that, but
let's just start listing a bunch of players that completely go against what Jake just said.
Yeah. Everybody, you know what? Just our listeners right now are probably like, what the fuck is he talking about? I got
I just
right off the top of my head. This guy played one game in the 70s.
Ty Montgomery?
Ty Montgomery, yeah. But still wore a wide receiver number, which pissed me off every time he went on the field.
Pissed me off too.
Yeah. No. All right. Again, Packers Chiefs. Yeah. So I feel like that's going to be really good for Chris Jones to move back to his true position. I feel like he's going to dominate this game because of that. I don't know. I feel like he's got something to prove there. But I think the Chiefs actually do cover the spread in this game. I don't know what's tempting me to say that, because at first I glanced at it. I was like, oh, no way the Chiefs cover that. But you know what? Jordan Love, Melvin Ingram, I feel like has got something to prove a little bit here. I feel like the defense is actually going to play pretty well. And I don't know. I'm just feeling the Chiefs breakout game in this one. I really am. So I'm going to take the Chiefs. I guess to cover the 7.5 point spread.
I hate this. As a Packers fan, I hate what's going on with my team right now. I don't know what to say. I will say I am beyond excited to see Jordan Love play. I am beyond excited. This is the future of the Green Bay Packers, or at least they hope. It's so weird because maybe it's just because the Packers have never had a good defense literally since I started watching them, or because I don't know what, but like there's something about this Packers defense just doesn't seem real to me. Like genuinely doesn't seem real, especially with Jair Alexander being out, Zadarius Smith being out, like a bunch of these injuries, Kevin King. Well, that's a good thing, but like something about this just doesn't seem.
Don't condone injuries on this podcast.
We don't.
Yeah, never.
Do not.
Never.
No, absolutely not. Get well soon, Kevin, but get well soon on like a different team. That would be cool. Yeah, just something about this Packers defense doesn't seem real to me. I feel like they overachieved a little bit. Rasul Douglas last week, though. Oh, beauty. Devondre Campbell won NFC Defensive Player of the Month, by the way, which is the first time a Packer since 2010 has had a Defensive Player of the Month since Clay Matthews did in 2010, which is crazy.
I was going to guess that.
It was crazy. So I think I feel I've been talking for like a minute now. I haven't said shit. So I think Jordan Love is going to have a rough game. I think this is a terrible, terrible first start to have in Kansas City in a hostile environment in probably the loudest stadium in the league other than Seattle. I mean, it's pretty neck and neck, I guess, with those two. I think the Chiefs fans actually.
Gage is giving us the death stare right now. Yes, New Orleans is a great environment too, Gage. That don't. I know. Let's just acknowledge it.
Yeah, I think the Packers will cover. I feel like 7.5 is too big of a margin. Even with their backup playing. But I don't think there's any way in hell they win this game. I'm sorry. I think they're a little bit in over their heads. I feel like Eric Stokes probably going to get burnt a few times by Tyreek Hill. I think Travis Kelce's probably going to ball out. I think this is a get-right game for the Chiefs, especially their defense. I think I actually picked up their defense I'm expecting Tyrann Mathieu to have a pick or two. I'm not expecting the greatest game out of Jordan Love. Let's just be honest, especially with the banged up offensive line, wide receivers coming back. So give me the Packers to cover, but give me the Chiefs to win.
I feel like those preseason and like off-season snaps with the first team are really going to benefit Jordan Love here. And I'm not expecting him to go out there and like slinging it around and throw 400 yards and 4 touchdowns or anything crazy. But I do think that he'll be able to manage the game fairly well, even in this hostile environment. I have more of a gut feeling, I guess, than anything else, but I think that he'll play fairly well. And that's why I made the choice that I made.
I do want to say, I think this game is huge. He has huge implications that nobody's talking about. Huge implications on whether or not Davante Adams comes back next year. I feel like this is probably going to be the only chance that Jordan Love has to prove to prove himself this year. Unless, the Packers lock up the number 1 seed and he starts like the last week or something. But, this is probably going to be the only time that we get to see Davante and Jordan Love play in game together. So knock on wood, I hope it's the only time, but I think this is going to have a lot to do with whether or not Davante has confidence in the quarterback going into next year and wants to come back to Green Bay regardless.
I honestly don't think it has those implications because I honestly don't think Davante Adams is going to stay, especially if Aaron Rodgers leaves.
Well, Aaron Rodgers 100% gone.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's a possibility.
And I think with that, Davante Adams is going to go as well. And because the Saints are going to get Odell, then the Raiders can have Davante Adams.
Okay. That's the
gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, the Packers will have Allen Lazard as their number 1 receiver next year.
Woo!
Kill me. All right. Browns, Bengals 2.5 point favorites. Jake, who you got?
Yeah, this is the first spread that actually makes sense. I got to go Bengals in this one, just with the turmoil that the Browns have been through. Until Baker Mayfield can prove to me that he could turn it around this season, because I kind of am done defending him. I love Baker. I think he's great for the NFL, like just how funny he is and how much of a character he is. I tend to root for him. I tend to be a fan of his. So I really do hope he can turn it around. But I mean, all the problems stem from him this year.
Yeah.
They do. Like, he's just not performing on the field. He really isn't, which sucks. But yeah, I feel like I got the Bengals in this one. They had a very ugly loss to the Jets last week to the backup quarterback that is the only quarterback since I think it was Cam Newton to come in and have 400 yards in their debut.
Yep.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel like the Bengals feel a little shafted from that win, and I think they'll get it back together against the Browns this week. And I think it might be a little more than a 2.5 point win for the Bengals.
Yeah, I've been a big Baker Mayfield fan as well. I love the personality and, the guy that just seems like he's having a ton of fun out there. Yeah. But I feel like all that fun that he's having is not translating to wins, which is very unfortunate. And I'd like to see him get better, but it's been several years now. Like Luke, you said earlier, that it doesn't feel like Baker Mayfield has really gotten any better from that rookie season. And I would agree with that. I don't see any progression really. And Jake, we talked several weeks ago about Cam Newton in his rookie season and how they kind of took away half the field for him. Like they were running play action and kind of having him roll out and stuff so that he could only focus on half the field to make it easier for him. That's how I felt last season watching Baker Mayfield play, because Kevin Stefanski was running a lot of that bootleg stuff and Baker Mayfield basically only had to focus on like half the field, which is why if you look at his passing charts and stuff, a lot of it is only on half the field. And I feel like he kind of went into this season, Kevin Stefanski, that is, trying to open it up more, and Baker Mayfield cannot keep up with it. Like he's just not making it happen. And that's a big issue for the Browns here. I'm going to take the Bengals in this one as well. And I do think that they'll cover the spread.
Clean sweep Bengals. The Bengals proved that they are the team to beat in this division, better than the Ravens, better than the Steelers. And they proved that to me when they went to Baltimore and just fucking manhandled the Ravens. Like, they are the team to beat. They have a much improved defense. Offensively, they're as good as ever. They have the big three: Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, the 3 J's. Yeah, I think the Browns are in too much trouble right now. I think there's too much animosity going into this game. Just within the team, the locker room without Odell, I think might be different. maybe it's like the Super Bowl expectations that they had a couple years ago. Maybe it was their fan base that said, "Oh, this team's going to the Super Bowl," that sort of made the Browns in over their heads, and now it's resulted in this because we had such high expectations for them heading into the past couple seasons. But yeah, the Browns are just not in a good spot right now. They're in a better spot than the Packers, but not in a great spot, nonetheless. So yeah, give me Cincy to cover and win this game. 2.5. It's pretty much a pick 'em at that point too. Anything like less than 3.5 is pretty much a pick 'em. So yeah. Tell you what's not a pick 'em is this Broncos at Cowboys game. Cowboys are favored by 10 points. 10 points. Gage, take the floor.
The Cowboys went in with Cooper Rush last week and beat the Vikings. It was a fairly close game still, but I mean, you go in with a backup quarterback without Dak, you think they would struggle a lot more than they did, but they've just got so many ways to go in and beat you. They've got the running backs, they've got the O-line, they've got talented enough receivers that you could throw basically any quarterback in there and they're going to get the ball to them one way or another. I have a lot of faith in the Cowboys this season that I didn't have coming into the season based on how they've been playing. They just have so much talent all over the field. Their defense has way overperformed their expectations. Yeah. And I think they're going to continue to do that against this Broncos team that has been lackluster ever since that winning streak. I mean, they just can't get it going. They just lost Von Miller in a trade, and I don't think that makes them a better team by any means. So I think I've got to take the Cowboys in this one. And honestly, even though the spread is as big as it is, I'm still going to take the Cowboys to cover it.
Wow. Yeah. Just kind of building on that, what Gage said here. I'm going to keep pounding this Drew Lock table. Teddy Bridgewater had a QBR of 30.8 last game. You're going to win with that? No, you're not going to win with that. We just talked about Baker and how he's playing. Like Teddy, it could be said the same thing. Like he's another guy. We talked about preseason, just like making us think like some player was going to play phenomenally in the season, and it just doesn't happen. Teddy Bridgewater's like probably the prime example of that. Like that he really showed out in the preseason. Everybody's like, holy shit, this guy might actually be a franchise quarterback. Yeah, he's not. He's a very good transition guy. He's a Tyrod Taylor. That's who Teddy Bridgewater is at this point in his career. We've said it multiple times. Bring Drew Lock in. It can't get much worse. Teddy is at his ceiling right now. He's actually probably close to his floor. You need a little spark of energy. Drew Lock gives you that. He does. He opens the field up. He can throw it downfield. He opens your playbook up a little more than actually probably a lot more than Teddy Bridgewater does. Yeah, you might get a few picks, but at least it's going to be exciting picks. We're going to have a little excitement on the team. Like, oh my God, we're actually using Jerry Jeudy deep. That's crazy. What a concept. Oh my God. Yeah. Just Noah like Fant. Noah Fant. Maybe don't get like Noah Fant's being used for more than 5-yard checkdowns. Wow. Who knew? Everybody knew. Drew Lock, this team's not going to get better until I am not picking the Broncos to win a game. They could play the fucking Jaguars. I don't care. I am not picking the Broncos to win a game until they put Drew Lock in. That is for the rest of the season. I am sticking with that. Cowboys going to demolish them in this game.
I just don't think I would ever bet on a 10-point spread, no matter what the teams are. I think the Broncos very well could get blown out in this game, but I don't have the balls to take that spread. Luckily, we're not betting on these, so who gives a shit? Yeah, I'll take the Broncos to cover. I think Cowboys will probably win. Not probably, they'll definitely win. This Broncos team is such a shame. It really is. I think Vic Fangio's probably got to go. It's not like their defense has gotten better with him. I mean, their defense is good. I think it's solid. I think it's very beatable though. I don't think it's no 2015, 2013 Broncos defense. Definitely not. And you know what? They just got rid of their locker room leader in Von Miller, and Von Miller is the epitome of the Denver Broncos. So how is your team going to respond after that? Because they don't really have a leader. They have Teddy Bridgewater, yes, but that's on the offensive side. Their defense is what they're known for, especially nowadays. So yeah, I'll take the Cowboys, but give me the Broncos to beat the spread. I think 10 points is still too high for pretty much any team. This next game, the spread doesn't make sense to me. The Dolphins are favored by 5.5 points at home over the Texans. Can somebody please tell me what the Dolphins have done to get 5.5 points, even versus the Texans? Because I've seen them do nothing but lose, and lose to the Jaguars, to the Falcons, to the Colts, the Raiders, the Bengals. Like, or not the Bengals. Bengals is preseason, but like this team hasn't gotten a win since week 1. They're 1-7.
Yep.
They're atrocious. Defensively, definitely not what we thought. So Jake, who you got in this game?
Yeah, you could have just stopped the Jaguars there, because do we remember who the Texans blew out in the first game of the season? The Jaguars that the Dolphins lost to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know what the Dolphins did. It's in Miami, if that helps them in any way. I don't know. I just feel like I think Tyrod Taylor's playing this week. So he is. Yeah, I'm taking the Texans. I am. Like, their defense is not atrocious. Like, it can hold up a little bit.
Yeah.
And they got Brandon Cooks. Tyrod Taylor played really well in that first game of the season. I think the Texans could have a pretty nice game here. Yeah, I'm not taking the Dolphins at all. I'm taking the Texans straight up to win this game.
Yeah, I'm taking the Texans in this one as well, and I think they will cover that 5.5 spread pretty much with ease. I don't think that the Dolphins. I don't know why this is the spread either. It doesn't really make any sense to me. The only reason I can think of is that the Texans have had a couple big losses lately. The Dolphins didn't lose as bad as expected to the Bills this past week, but even so, that's just way too much. I think that the Texans will definitely get it done.
Yeah, they lost by 15. They lost by 15.
I don't know, but I think that I think Tyrod Taylor is going to play really well for 3 quarters until he gets hurt again. So,
how many times do you think Deshaun Watson gets brought up in this broadcast of this game?
Oh man, like, we need to bet on the over under for that.
Over under 3.5.
3.5. Big over. I was gonna set it at like 6.5.
Yeah,
really?
Something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I just feel like the announcers can't say it that much. Like, they can bring it up a couple times, but I don't know if they could just harp on it the entire game.
I think that even if they don't want to, they're going to be forced by the graphics or something. Like, they're gonna put stuff on the screen
in their ear.
Yeah.
I don't care about this game at all.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Trash bowl of the week.
Give me the Texans for shits and gigs.
Yeah. Let's give them a love.
I think they'll win and I think they'll cover. Dolphins are so disappointing, man. We were talking about them being a potential
terrible,
playoff team, maybe even an AFC East winner. They've been everything but that. The running game is bad. The pass game, Tua's actually looked good the past couple of weeks. I'll give him that. Not so much and by good, I mean improved.
Against expectations, he's looked like about an average quarterback.
Tua's on the Jalen Hurts train, where if you look at his stats, you're like, oh, not bad. But if you watch him play the game, you're like, what is he doing out there? And then but the NFL will only post a highlight of his 40-yard dime to I
will say though, he has at least one of those a game. It seems
he does.
He's got that going for him.
Yeah,
Jalen Waddle has kind of been a win for me in fantasy the past couple of weeks. He's been put up some numbers. Mike Gesicki too.
Penn State guy.
Yeah, give me the Texans. All right, we got the Las Vegas Raiders going into MetLife against the Giants as 3-point favorites. Gage, you got?
I am going to take the Raiders in this one. The 3-point favorites. I think that's pretty solid. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with the Giants putting up a fight against the Chiefs this past week. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Chiefs defense, like we talked about multiple times, has not been very good. And then the Raiders dealing with the things that they've been dealing with this season, as far as the head coaching change. And now we've got the Henry Ruggs thing. I feel like it makes sense. But I am still going to take the Raiders to cover it. I think that they are capable of doing that with the players that they have there. And the Giants are just kind of all over the place as of lately. So I like the Raiders and I like the spread for the Raiders.
Yeah, I got all right. I was thinking Raiders, but now I'm kind of talking myself out of this.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna hate myself, but I'm going with the Raiders. I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I feel like the Giants are now gonna win this game. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Raiders are just a better team. They're a better team. You got to give it to Daniel Jones. Like I always say, he fights in every game that he's in. He's going to fight to that last second. But the Giants they play such a sloppy game of football. It's almost entertaining to watch because of how sloppy it is.
How bad they are.
Yeah. It's just like, wow, this is like the definition of just middle school football. This is like it at times looks like they don't even know what's going on the field. Like they're like, all right, we're just going to try and stop that guy or get this ball down. Daniel Jones is like mentality, get ball downfield any means necessary, even if it means throwing the ball to the defender. Like he just needs to get it 40 yards. Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders in this one. Even with all the turmoil with Henry Ruggs over the past week, they're still the better team. And I feel like they'll win this game.
I feel like they have to win this game. I feel like this game is too important. The Raiders have dealt with so much shit just this entire season. And it's unfortunate, but you know what? They have a guy in Derek Carr who's he's going to lead them to some victories, and he's going to get them through the rough. And you know what? There's not many players like him in the league. I don't know if you guys saw what he said about Henry Ruggs in his interview. He was like, yeah, he needs love right now. If nobody else will do it, I will do it. Probably one of, if not the best leader in all of football. Wouldn't be surprised to see him win like maybe a Walter Payton Man of the Year at some point, because he's just a charitable guy. And I hated on him a little bit in the offseason. That's because he was talking about my guy Devontae Adams, but I do love me some Derek Carr at the end of the day. Yeah, I think this game is just too important for the Raiders to win. I mean, with the Henry Ruggs situation, I think they have to get a win. And they're doing it through adversity too, which is even more impressive. They're doing it through a coaching change, which is even more impressive. Some guy who's not getting talked about nearly enough this entire season is Max Crosby. Max Crosby in PFF is the highest grade defender in all of football right now, 91.4 overall. Like he has 7 sacks, 11 solo tackles. I'm on PFF here, but they don't have all the stats updated. But he's just been a menace. Let's just leave it at that. He's been a menace, and I think he's probably going to get to Daniel Jones a couple times in this game. So yeah, give me the Raiders to cover and win this football game. As we move on to the Buffalo Bills, 14.5-point favorites over at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who you got? You're going Bills here, Jake.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bills. You know what? I'll take the Jags to cover. I'll give them a little garbage time points to cover that spread. I don't think it's going to be in real time. I think it'll be definitely in garbage time. It'll definitely be a blowout. But yeah, I'm taking the Bills all the way in this game. This doesn't even matter being talked about.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills as well. As far as covering the spread, it's kind of tough because the Bills are really good and the Jags are really bad. And James Robinson being banged up really, really concerns me because I don't see Carlos Hyde stepping up and doing what James Robinson can do. I'm going to take the Bills to still cover that. I think that they're probably going to blow them out in this one, honestly.
I have no reason to believe the Jacksonville Jaguars will win this football game. Mm-hmm. But God damn it, I'm gonna pick them to win it. I'm gonna pick the Jags over the Bills. I have no reason. Absolutely. They got blown out by the Seahawks last week to Geno Smith. I have a feeling. I have a feeling that the Jaguars are not only going to cover this game, they're going to beat the Buffalo Bills. I don't have any reason to back it up. I just think it's going to happen, and I'm putting that positive energy out there in the world. I hope James Robinson gets healthy. Not only for my fantasy team, but for this pick right here. I'm going to need him. I don't really have much to say. I just have a feeling I'm 99%. I'm probably going to be wrong. But on that off chance, on that off 1%, I think the Jaguars beat the Buffalo Bills at home.
I can't keep defending you, bro.
Listen.
I can't keep going to bat for you when you make these decisions.
Listen. When you have a feel, it's hard to shake that feeling when I got a feeling that the Jags are going to win. That was some vocals right there.
That was
wow. Listen, I could sing a better fucking national anthem than she could. Jesus. But
4-year-old joke. Drop the mic. Let's go.
Listen, I love revisiting that video every year.
Oh my God. It's so entertaining.
With the Warriors,
so funny.
Getting lit to it in the locker room.
The perfection of the camera. That camera crew deserves an Oscar for how the way they knew every player to go to just emphasize how bad it was. Phenomenal work by that camera crew. Mwah. Just perfect.
But we cannot let that distract us from the fact that Luke just picked the Jaguars to beat the Bills.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Is that what just happened, Luke?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
The
Yeah,
Knicks
you were
are
watching
up,
the Knicks.
Yeah,
Come
Knicks
on,
are up.
Jake.
Baffled.
The Knicks are up 14 points in the Bucks right now after they were down 30 in the first half. Yeah. Gage, remember when the Knicks were plus 600 to win the game? I'm a dumbass for not betting on that shit.
I told you, I was like, hey, man, the life bet.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm so mad at myself. Oh, man, that's tough.
Yeah, I think the Jags are going to upset the Bills like the Knicks upset the defending champs, and that's it.
Can I UCF this and say that the Knicks are now the defending champions? Can I like do that?
I think I can.
I think I can do that. Yeah, I'm gonna hang a banner. You guys think I'm gonna hang a banner? I'll take a picture of it. I'm gonna hang a banner. I'm gonna hang a banner in my room. I swear. You guys think I won't? I'm gonna go to Target right after this and get some get some canvas and stuff. And
you're gonna make one.
Oh yeah. Well, they're not gonna sell a Knicks beat the Bucks, therefore they won the NBA championship banner.
Hey, the internet's a huge.
That's true. Man. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody made that. Would not be surprised. Maybe Amazon.
So, Vikings Ravens.
Oh yes.
Oh right, football. Oh,
football.
Okay.
Yeah, we got the Ravens 6-point favorites over the Vikings. Jake, who you got?
Yeah, this is 15 points now. This is a tough game because I feel like the Vikings just got robbed in Dallas, but you got to give it to Cooper Rush. He played really well. But the Ravens, what did I say? I said I'm not picking against Lamar Jackson for the rest of the season. It's in Baltimore. Yeah, give me the Ravens in this one. I am going to pick the Vikings to cover, though. I don't like that -6. I think that's a little too much. I would have liked it more at like -4.5 around that area. But yeah, I like the Ravens in this one, but the Vikings to cover.
I like that too. I'm going to take the Ravens as well, but I think the Vikings will cover that 6. I think that the Ravens are coming off of their bye week and they're going to be fresh and they're going to look really good and they're going to come out. And you know what? No, I'm going to take the Ravens for the spread as well, because I think they're going to come off their bye week. They're going to be fresh. Danielle Hunter tore his pec and he's going to be out now. So they're not going to be able to get to the quarterback quite as well, I don't think, even though they were leading the league in sacks, I believe, last week. So just coming off that tough loss to the Cowboys and Cooper Rush, I think the Vikings are going to be a little bit hurt. And I think the Ravens can easily take this one.
I'm sorry, but the Vikings fucking suck. All right. I'm like
no bias. No bias at all.
No bias.
Yeah.
No bias. Packers fan, no bias. They should not be this bad. They should not be 3-4. They should not be losing 14-7 to the Cleveland Browns. They should not be losing these games. I know that they had an opportunity to beat the Cardinals a couple weeks ago, but that didn't happen. Mike Zimmer needs to be in the hot seat after the year that he had last year, especially. There's no reason why this team should be underperforming. This team should be in the mix for a playoff spot, for a wild card spot. They're sitting at 3-4, not saying that they can't get there, but like this team, like Dalvin Cook hasn't been right. So passing offense hasn't been right. This defense has definitely not been right.
The secondary is atrocious.
Dude, it's so bad.
Horrible.
It's so, and I'm sorry. Like, I know that they have Harrison Smith, and I'm sorry. I think he's kind of washed. I think he's kind of washed. I agree. I think he gets beat in coverage. Not that he was ever that great of a coverage guy to begin with, but I think now it's definitely being exploited since he doesn't have some of those elite corners. Some of the, why can't I think of his name? The other safety that was there last year that's on the Eagles now.
Andrew Sendejo.
No, but him too.
Yeah.
Guy that they franchised last year. And whatever his name is. Xavier Rhodes isn't there anymore either. Like some of these elite corners. This defense just isn't what it used to be. I want to say his name is Anthony Harris.
Anthony Harris. Yes.
Yeah. This defense is not what it used to be. Eric Kendricks isn't having the best year. Danielle Hunter just went on IR. The pass rush is atrocious. I think Mike Zimmer is definitely on the hot seat. I think he needs to go. I said this last year on my TikTok. I'm saying it again this year. I said it in the podcast before. So yeah, give me the Ravens to cover. Give me them to blow this team out. The Vikings stole their chant from a soccer team in I want to see Iceland. So nothing about their team is real. They've never won a Super Bowl, by the way. They've been to one and they lost.
Oh my gosh.
This team is terrible. Sorry. I just have like a lot going on with the Packers.
Yeah.
I need to sort of
get it out. Of course. Yeah.
I mean, the Vikings just suck. So
yeah. Alvin Kamara scored 6 touchdowns on him. I'll pile on.
He did. He did.
Let's keep it going.
That was fucking absurd.
In the Christmas cleats.
Nick Foles dropped a 40
that was
burger on him.
absurd.
Yeah, you're right.
How many fantasy points did he have in that game? It had to have been 60, right?
It was crazy.
It was a lot. I don't think it was 60.
God bless anybody that played Alvin Kamara that week. Oh my gosh.
I remember watching that game in my room. I was actually literally like wrapping presents as I was watching it. And dude, it was atrocious.
It was one of the best gifts I got.
Listen, I mean, if you're putting the Vikings on primetime football, you're gonna get that outcome. So
yeah.
Sorry, Vikings fans. All right, 49ers 2-point favorites at home versus the Cardinals. Wait, are you sure the 49ers are 2-point favorites?
49ers are 2-point favorites?
Sure. I am sure.
That's absolutely stupid.
I think
that's absurd.
It's because Kyler Murray might not play, right?
Both Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins are questionable.
Okay.
Jake, who do you got?
Do we know who the Cardinal is? It Hundley? Is it Brett Hundley?
No, Hundley's on the Colts.
No, it's Colt McCoy.
It's Colt McCoy. I love me some Colt McCoy. Even if it's Colt McCoy, I'm taking the Cardinals in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think Colt McCoy got shafted with his injury at Texas. He would have been a great quarterback in the NFL if he didn't get injured. But yeah, I am definitely taking the Cardinals in this game regardless. The 49ers just have something bad going on there. I don't know what it is, but yes, they beat the Bears 33-22 last week. All right, whatever. Like the Bears have been anything impressive this year. Jeez. Yeah, the Cardinals are going to win this game. I don't have any worries about that. So give me the Cardinals straight up to cover that spread.
I disagree. I think the 49ers are going to win this game. They kept it fairly close the first time they met, and that was with Trey Lance at the helm. Now and not saying that there's like that Jimmy Garoppolo is some otherworldly being or anything like that, but I do think that he tends to be a little bit better in this offense, at least as of right now. And with them keeping it close before, I think that they're going to manage to keep it close again, whether Kyler Murray plays or not. And I mean, especially like we saw it this past week when the Cardinals played the Packers and they were missing JJ Watt. They are missing that a lot as far as pressuring the quarterback. And I think they're going to continue to miss that. I think that the 49ers can win this game, even if it's not by a lot, but I do think that they still will cover that spread because basically a pick 'em.
You swayed me a little bit there, Gage.
Yeah.
You swayed me. Obviously, Kyler Murray. I don't know what that means.
Knicks are up 22. Knicks are up 22 points on the Bucks right now.
I'm glad.
Knicks are up 22 points on the Bucks right now.
I thought you were just throwing out the peace sign.
Yeah,
peace and love.
It's like, I'm out, guys. I'm out. By the way, that's my time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think if Kyler Murray doesn't play, I think obviously significant blow to the Cardinals. Cardinals were held in check last week. They were held in check by the Packers defense. It's the first time that we've seen that really this season. And I think the Packers have a better defense than the Niners. And I think that the Niners are just unhealthy. They're not really well put together right now. A lot of injuries. I think George Kittle's on track to come back, though, this game.
Yes, he will play in this game.
He's going to play. Oh, fuck it, dude. Give me the 49ers. Give me the 49ers. I think Kittle is going to provide some juice for that stadium, for that crowd, for that offense. Even though I am definitely not a believer in Jimmy Garoppolo by any means.
George Kittle also had an awesome Master Chief Halloween costume. I feel like that is to be noted. Yeah. And his wife, I don't know if he's married, wife, girlfriend, whoever she is, dressed as Cortana. So.
Shit.
Yeah.
I gotta see that. I gotta see that, man. I hope it wasn't at any Halloween parties like some other teams. But anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna go with the Niners to cover and win, probably by like a field goal. I think that's reasonable. All right, Sunday Night Football. This game would have been so much more interesting had one particular player not gotten injured and forced it out the rest of the season. And that is Derrick Henry. The Tennessee Titans go to Los Angeles where they are 7-point underdogs versus the Rams. Gage, who you got?
I'm going to take the Rams in this one. Like you said, if Derrick Henry was playing, this could potentially be a lot more interesting, and I could take them to potentially upset the Rams because I do think that they would still be underdogs in that case. But I don't think it's going to happen. Like I really think that this Titans offense is more of a question mark than it has been at any point this season without the big guy in the back. So I think that and Julio is supposed to play in this game as well. He's supposed to be back active. He hasn't done much in the games that he has played. I think that Matt Stafford and those guys are going to tear it up again. Cooper Kupp has been insane. Robert Woods is stepping up when he needs to. Even the running backs are getting in on the action, getting in the end zone. So, and plus Von Miller, they added Von Miller. And at one point, I don't know if he still is, Ryan Tannehill was the most sacked quarterback in the league with behind a bad offensive line. So I think that you add Von Miller to the mix, and it's going to be a bad day for Ryan Tannehill. So Rams, and I am going to take them to cover the spread as well. I think they'll win by double digits.
Wow. I don't know about that one. But yeah, the Rams are definitely going to win this game. Titans lost the most influential offensive piece in all of football in Derrick Henry. It's hard to recover from. I do not think Adrian Peterson is going to have this otherworldly game. Neither do I think that for Jeremy McNichols.
Nick Nichols. I love that.
Nichols, yeah.
Good name.
It's going to be interesting to see who Jalen Ramsey covers in this game, whether it's Julio or AJ Brown. Because
he's got to cover AJ.
He's probably going to pick a side, and then whoever lines up on that side.
He's going to Richard Sherman it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's just such a prototypical trap game to be like, Julio lost it, and then he drops 300 yards on your ass, and you're like, fuck, he's still Julio Jones. But yeah, I think the Titans are not going to lose by double digits. I think they will cover the spread. But yes, the Rams are definitely going to win this game. I only think the Titans are going to cover the spread in garbage time. Maybe like a 60-yard touchdown for AJ Brown or something like that. But other than that, Titans are really missing Derrick Henry right now, and the Rams just have everything firing on all cylinders. Yeah, I can't talk on all cylinders. So yeah, give me the Rams in this game, but give me the Titans to cover.
All right, Mr. Ryan Tannehill, I'm talking to you here because I know you're listening. I bet $25 on you at the beginning of the season to win the most valuable player award. Okay. This is your time. I have a lot of money on this. With my salary of $0 as a college student, I have a lot of money on this bet.
That's a lot of ramen.
That's a lot. That's a shit.
That's like 25 things of ramen, basically, depending on what ramen you get.
That's literally like, yeah.
So just don't try to do math. It's fine.
Yeah. There's a reason I don't take math. So I'm expecting a big game out of you, Ryan. I'll be honest. You have to. This is your team now. Not that it wasn't before, but it definitely wasn't before. Derrick Henry quite literally carries this, not even just this offense, this entire team, and he is no longer there to provide his services because he's hurt. Ryan Tannehill needs to have not even just a spectacular game, but a spectacular end to the season if he wants to lead this Titans team to where I think that they can go. And that's probably, to at least the second round, maybe even further of the playoffs. And I think if you are able to keep them afloat, Derrick Henry's probably going to come back in the playoffs. So I think there's a lot to play for the Titans. I think they're going to cover. I don't think they're going to win. I'm hoping this is a high scoring game. Like, I'm hoping this is one of those like Chiefs Rams games from a couple years ago, like where it's like 56 to like 51 or something crazy like that. Insane. I feel like this has the potential to, maybe not with the Rams defense, because they're elite, but they've shown that they can let some big plays happen. But no, I'm going with the Rams in this one. Give me the Titans cover, but like Von Miller and Aaron Donald are going to be a terror for not even just this season, for seasons in the future too, because I'm pretty sure they're working on an extension right now with Von Miller, which is crazy. So yeah, give me the Rams. The Rams are probably the favorites to come out of the NFC, at least in my eyes. So yeah, and I think they're going to win, but the Titans will cover. All right, now let's get into a Super Bowl preview on Monday Night Football, boys. We got the Chicago Bears, 6.5-point underdogs at the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, Gage, who you got?
I'm going to take the Steelers in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they've been on the upswing really from early in the season. They looked a little bit rough, couldn't quite get things going. I think that the defense is obviously still playing well. I think that the offense is starting to figure some things out. They didn't blow the Browns out last week or anything, but they looked good. They got the win against a solid defense, and I think that they're going to be able to do that again here. But I am going to take the Bears to cover the spread. I think that they will be capable of that. Justin Fields looked a lot better this past week as well, and I think that they're going to kind of build on that. David Montgomery may or may not be back, I believe. I'm not totally sure on that.
I think they designated him to return. I don't know if he's going to play, though.
Okay. Even if not, I mean, the running backs that they have been playing well. Khalil Herbert has looked good. Damian Williams has looked pretty good when they've gone to him. So I think that the Bears will definitely keep it close, but I think the Steelers will pull it out. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, though.
Yeah, this one is tough for me. I feel like the Steelers should win this game. This is a battle of two atrocious offenses going up against two amazing defenses. And it's really fucking confusing for me to be able to because I don't know if a point will be scored in this game. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, do any of these offenses get anything going?
We might have a 2-0 game.
Maybe. Oh my God. I saw a post. I think it was on TikTok of this guy who bet $1 on every game to have a safety happen this weekend. And the payout would be $3 trillion for a $1 bet. $1 bet on every game having a safety.
Imagine you hit. Imagine you hit.
It was Barstool Sportsbook, so Penn would go broke. Everything, Barstool would be done.
More than broke. Where would they get the money?
They'd have to pay it in segments of his life, I guess.
Yeah.
Or give him maybe stock in the company. I don't know.
He would own the company, not stock. I think he could own the company through 5
You
times
shouldn't
over.
even allow that as a bet if you're going to make that much off of it.
I swear, it didn't look edited or anything. This was dead ass, $3 trillion. Watch the listeners Jake, dumbass. That was edited clearly. Well, if I'm that stupid, it was a video, so I don't think it was edited. It was on Barstool Sportsbook, so Penn would just absolutely just cease to exist. Barstool gone. Dave Portnoy can't pay that. What are you going to do? They would honestly probably have to go to a settlement with the guy and be like, listen, okay, we don't have $3 trillion. Okay, listen, we'll give you 20% share in the company. Have a good day. Just take your, which honestly, I would take that money. Come on. I wouldn't go in and be giving my $3 trillion. I'd be like, could I get 10 mil, something like that? And I would be happy. I'd be happy and call it a day. But anyway, we're back to Bears. Was this game? I forgot who this game was between. The Bears and Steelers. Great. You guys got to keep me on track here. I have ADD. I just go off.
No, I like it. I like it.
So yeah, Ben Roethlisberger is atrocious. Sorry, Steelers fans, if I hurt your feelings there. But yeah, this Justin Fields, his lovers got a little treat last week with his touchdown run.
That was beautiful, game, by the way.
It was
so beautiful.
He's a very special runner. He really is. That guy is fast and tough as hell. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Bears in this one. The Steelers I don't know. The Bears look Justin Fields looks like he's getting a little more comfortable in that offense, and it looks like he's starting to figure it out just a little bit. I'm not gonna say he's amazing yet, but he's starting to figure it out just a little bit. And the Steelers I don't trust. Nothing about the Steelers makes me trust them. They could put up 30 on a given day, but they could also more likely not put up any points, just put up a big old goose egg.
Do you think it's more likely that they score 0 points than 30 points? Get that on record.
Yes, you can book me, put that quote in the history books. I think that I will say that every day of the week. Every day of the week.
The one part of the Steelers that I cannot, I will trust them at least a little bit is Mike Tomlin.
Yes. That's the only thing they have going for them, though. Mike Tomlin, yeah. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Steelers put up a goose egg in this game. Would you be absolutely shocked?
I would be.
Yeah. I feel like I would.
All right. If they put up 30 points, would you be absolutely shocked? I'd be shocked if they put up 30 points.
I would, but I don't think
I would be equally as shocked. I would be equally as shocked. I don't know. I think the Steelers offense is absolutely. I think they're abysmal. I think they're terrible. Their offense is awful. Their offensive line
just put up 33 on them.
I think the 49ers got Deebo Samuel, who's I think he's got
the Steelers have Deontay Johnson.
Oh, great. The guy had 11 drops last year. Phenomenal.
Okay. All right. Let's just resort back to that. That's what everybody goes to. He's been solid. He's been good.
He has been solid. All of this hate comes from my hate, not for my hate for Ben Roethlisberger. I don't hate him, but I just think he's so falling off a cliff. Ben Roethlisberger is just not what he once was. And
Steelers fans are going to be on our ass next year.
Oh, 100%. And I love it. I deal with it every day. I go to school in PA. I deal with it all the time. They just think they're hot shit. But yeah, the emphasis on the shit. But yeah, the Steelers are just terrible. The Bears are also not great. but I just feel like the way Justin Fields looked last week makes me feel more comfortable that they're going to win this game. That's the bar. I don't think the Steelers are going to put up 0 points in this game. Let's just get this out there. I just said they're a team that could put up 0, but they could also put up 30. Like this is the inconsistency.
Jake said the Steelers are horrible. Big Ben.
Oh yeah, you could quote me with that. You could quote me with that the Steelers offense is horrible. Then all the Steelers fans will be like, have you seen our defense? Have you seen TJ Watt, bro? Yeah, TJ Watt's great. Okay, your defense is great, but your offense is kind of terrible. So yeah. Give me this Bears and Steelers are -6.5. Yeah, no way. Even if I picked the Steelers in this one, I would pick the Bears to cover that. But yeah, I'm going with the Bears straight up.
Like you said, like Justin Fields is starting to get more comfortable in this offense. Like what can you think of many defenses like that you'd rather, or that you never mind. I don't know how to fucking word that.
You wouldn't want him to go against?
Yeah. More than the Steelers. Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
the Bills.
I would hate
the Bills too.
But the Bills are going to get ravaged by the Jags this week.
But I feel like the Steelers haven't been, have the Steelers like been that impressive? Like they still have a losing record even with that defense. So it's like it's not an unbeatable.
They have a
defense.
winning record now, don't they? 4-3.
Do they?
Yeah.
They are. I want to say they're 4-4.
I want to say they're 500 too. Yeah.
They beat the Bills.
No, I think they were 3-3. They came off their bye week and they beat the Browns. I'm pretty sure
they are 4-3. They are 4-3.
They're 4-3.
Yes.
Okay, but they still got 3 losses against. Like,
yeah,
I just don't trust the Steelers. That's my point. That's my. Don't trust them.
Don't look now, but the Steelers are kind of on a hot streak too. I mean, 3 straight wins over over the Broncos, over the Seahawks, and then over the Browns, which I think was pretty impressive. Not all beautiful wins, but wins nonetheless. I think this is a statement game for the Steelers. I think they're on prime time. I think it's time to show the world that, you know what, hey, we're not a washed team that many people think that we are. We are not the shell of that 2020 team that went like 13-0 or whatever. We're not that anymore, or 11-0. I think the Steelers are going to win. I think they're going to cover. I think this is bad news bears, all pun intended, for Justin Fields. I think he's not going to be able to get it done. Justin Fields, he looked better. He's definitely looked better as of late.
He was also against a weak secondary last week.
Weak secondary in the 49ers. I mean, good pass rush, and he really maneuvered. That one play will stick in my mind. That's like a Cam Newton faking out the Patriots type play. That's like one of those. He looked like some Colin Kaepernick like type play. Justin Fields, I don't think is going to have a very special game against the Steelers this week. I think this is probably the hardest defense he's played so far this season. And yeah, I think the Steelers get a win. I think the Steelers might put up 30. All right. The Steelers
They've yet to put up 30. They've yet to put up 30.
I looked.
The Seahawks have put up 30 twice this year. Come on.
I mean, listen. I think
Geno Smith put up 30 before Ben Roethlisberger did this year.
This might be the game.
About that.
I think this might be the game
against the Jags
because the Bears defense. I don't know why people like think that the Bears defense is still in elite, like in their elite 20.
Not elite. It's not elite, but it's like still solid. It's still all right.
Yeah, they were like. They were leading the league in sacks at one point. So like their front 7 is pretty solid with Khalil Mack playing, and Robert Quinn stepping up and him playing the way that he's been playing this season has been good. Their secondary is not that great.
Their secondary is bad. Eddie Jackson he's
fallen off a cliff.
He has fallen off a cliff the past couple of years. Robert Quinn has been having a resurgence. I'll give him that. Mm-hmm. But Khalil Mack, like he's not getting the sack numbers that he once did. He's getting the pressures, but I still think a lot of teams have started to hold him in check. And Robert Quinn's honestly looked better than him this year. I'll give him that, and Roquan Smith as well. But their secondary is atrocious. So yeah, give me the Steelers.
But just think about them going up against that Steelers offensive line, which might be one of the worst in the league.
Think about the Steelers front 7 going up against that Bears offensive line.
Yeah, but Justin Fields can run.
Think about all of the 1-yard checkdowns that Najee Harris is going to catch in this game.
Oh my gosh,
Think about that.
The Steelers just went up against a better front 7 last week in the Browns with Myles Garrett, and
they put up 15 points, and they put up 15 points
in a win.
Hey, good enough to win. Right. Listen, I personally think that the Steelers put up 60 in this game.
60. I want Sped to cut that. I want that on a clip. Steelers are putting up 60 points this week, guys.
You think it's more likely that they put up 0 or 60?
I do. Watch How
in that
bad?
case, I think I
you
gotta
guys
go
do
0.
not want to see me on this.
What's
podcast
the last
if
NFL
the Steelers
team
put up a
that put
goose
up
egg
60?
Oh my god! If the Steelers put up a goose egg, I'm gonna be cocky off my ass next episode. Like you are not gonna be able to contain me.
I'll give you this instead to go against them putting up 0 points next week or this week. I think they'll score on their first drive. I think they
don't agree with that. I do not.
I think they at least kick a field goal on their first. You know what?
Okay,
I'll go further.
I can see a
Deontay Johnson touchdown first drive.
Okay,
and then I will be unbearable next week.
The last NFL team to put up 60 points were the Saints in 2011.
Damn straight.
62 on the Colts.
Wow. That's embarrassing. Like that's another level. Like you should not let the game get to 60 points. What does the other team have? Does it say?
It does not.
Gage, do you remember? Do you remember what the other team?
I don't. I don't think it was much.
2011 stats.
That was Peyton. Or no, Peyton was hurt.
No,
that's
Hasselbeck. That's Hasselbeck. Hasselbeck played that year.
Yeah, we embarrassed the fuck.
2-14. They went 2-14 that year.
Huh. And then the Washington name shall not be said. Scored 72 in 1966.
Wow.
That's wild.
Wow.
They scored 72 points
for them too?
Yeah, right? Have they scored 72 points total this season? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Honestly. I don't think so.
Wow.
72 used to be my favorite number. Anyway, we got to wrap this shit up.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So, and that is going to end it for episode 32 of the Totally Unqualified podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. I love doing this every couple days with you guys, really. If you haven't already, make sure to download the Overtime app. It is sports meets social media. It's everything you want out of a social media app, polls, games every single week. And they're coming out with updates pretty much weekly and some big updates in the future. So make sure you do that. Use our link. Helps us out a ton.
Yeah. And if you guys want to keep up with us when, you're not listening to a podcast, you're all caught up, whatever the case may be, definitely be sure to follow us on our socials. It is Extra Points for me, Football Fan Zone for Luke, and Jake Maltese 3 for Jake. And then we've got our Totally Unqualified socials, of course, as well. We've got an IG, we've got Twitter, we've got TikTok. So be sure to follow us on all of those accounts to keep up with everything that we've got going on.
Yeah, thank you guys again for listening. To everybody that, again, still keeps bothering me about the wager. I am going to do it, okay? It's coming from China. The jersey's coming from China. It's going to take a while, okay? It shipped a couple days ago, all right? It'll get here, and I'll have the video content out for you guys. But other than that, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next one.